Google just announced their quantum Willow chip that can solve problems that took billions of years before, but now it can be done in 5 minutes. And immediately, Bitcoin Twitter exploded once again with panic. Bitcoin is dead. Quantum computers are going to crack your wallet and steal your Bitcoin. Sell everything before that happens. But here's what nobody's telling you. This isn't new. I've been hearing this for years and years now. Every single year, every time the price is down, we need to find something to blame. And every single time, the story is the same. Fear, uncertainty, doubt. Then nothing happens. But this time, I'm going to show you the actual time frame of when quantum computing becomes a real threat, what happens to your Bitcoin at each stage, and why, if quantum breaks Bitcoin, your credit cards, your bank accounts, everything on the internet breaks first. What's up, everyone? It's your boy Shubsy. Alright guys, I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm here to give you the facts, the timeline, and what you actually need to do right now, which right now is actually nothing, but you need to understand what's coming. By the end of this video, you'll know the real timeline of when quantum becomes a threat, what happens to your Bitcoin at each stage, why Bitcoin is actually the least of our problems, and what the upgrade path looks like. Let's get into it. Okay, so first, let's talk about what everyone's been freaking out about. Bitcoin uses something called elliptic curve cryptography, specifically ECDSA and SHA-256. These are basically mathematical locks that protect your Bitcoin. So right now, a regular computer would take billions and billions of years to crack a Bitcoin private key. That's why Bitcoin is secure. But quantum computers, they don't play by the same rules.
I saw Sundar post it. I saw it in my feed. I ended up missing my next meeting because I had to figure out how long will it take for us to crack the encryption standards that we use for Bitcoin. Nick, here's the answer, because I was so tilted by this idea. So, if you think of Willow as essentially like one stable, logical qubit equivalent in a chip, we need about 4,000 to break RSA 2048, and we need about 8,000 to break SHA 256, which is the underlying encryption framework for Bitcoin. So I think you're right. I think we're in the sort of like
the end game,
2 to 5 year shot clock. No, I mean, I think what'll have.
So Chamath here is saying 2 to 5 years. That's kind of scary, right? But let's look at what other experts are saying, because there's a huge range of opinions here. So here's a chart from Charles Edwards, breaks down what multiple, experts have been saying. So let's walk through it. So James Lopp, Bitcoin developer, he says 50% risks within 4 to 9 years. Pierre, PhD in math physics, he's saying 2 to 6 years. McKinsey saying 2 to 10 years. The U.S. Department of Defense itself is saying 3 years, as soon as 3 years. Vitalik, he's saying before 2028, before the next presidential election. So when you average all of this out, we're looking at like a 2 to 9 year window, with the highest probability being around the 4 to 5 year range. That puts us around 2027 to like 2030, actually. So here's another chart of probability of Bitcoin being broken by what time, and it's according to these experts, right? So Charles says, we have entered the quantum event horizon. The frontier risk of quantum hack is the same amount of time away as the consensus upgrade and rollout would take. We must act in 2026, okay? So this is what he's saying, but hold on. Not everyone agrees with this timeline. So here's Adam Back, creator of Hashcash. I think everyone knows him already in the Bitcoin space. Hashcash, which was literally the precursor to Bitcoin's mining systems, he says Bitcoin has no quantum risk for 20 to 40 years. He says the post-quantum encryption already exists and can be added to Bitcoin long before the quantum machines arrive. Here's Pierre Richard, also one of the Bitcoiners. Adam is right. It's simply not enough to be worried about the hypothetical future of problems of quantum computing for Bitcoin. You also have to worry about adopting the wrong solution too soon. So who's right? Is it 2 to 9 years like Charles was saying, or is it 20 to 40 years like Adam Back is saying? Well, the truth is it's probably like everything else in life, somewhere in the middle. But here's what matters, okay? This is a real threat that needs to be taken seriously. Whether it's 5 years or 20 years, the solution is the same. Bitcoin needs to be upgraded to quantum resistant encryption. And the good news, the solution already exists. But before we get to the solution, let me show you why Bitcoin is the least of your problems. If quantum computing breaks Bitcoin encryption, guess what else it breaks? It breaks your bank account, your credit cards, every online transaction, military communications, nuclear launch codes, government secrets, literally everything on the internet. Bitcoin is a true trillion-dollar asset. The global banking system, that's 100 trillion. Entire internet economy, that's hundreds of trillions. And here's the thing, your bank security is way more vulnerable than Bitcoin's. Banks use RSA 2048 encryption, which only needs around 4,000 stable logical qubits to break, while Bitcoin's SHA-256 needs 8,000. This is a good graphic of it. So your bank is much more vulnerable and easier to break than Bitcoin. So if you're worried about Bitcoin because of quantum computing, you should be 100x more worried about your fiat bank accounts. If a bad actor gets a cryptographically relevant quantum computer, they're not going after your Bitcoin first. They're probably going after banks with billions of dollars, government treasuries or government secrets, military systems, corporate secrets that are just worth trillions. Bitcoin is just a small fish in a huge ocean. So here's a tweet from Nico. He's saying, this is why I suspect something's fishy is going on. Ray Dalio, he's kind of known about Bitcoin for a little while now, but he's talking about how he's worried about quantum computing. And it's weird because this has been a thing for years and he's known about it forever. So I don't know why the quantum computing thing is such a big, why is it bigger now than it was back in 2018. This quantum computing FUD comes around probably once a year. This is basically the definition of FUD, as he says. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
If explaining that is what happened in Coventry when the British had broken Enigma. They had the most important secret was keeping secret the fact that they'd broken Enigma, otherwise they would go change the encryption code. So to keep that secret, they had to do parallel construction. If they found out that something was going to get bombed, they have to, capture a German soldier who knew about it and then say that he told them so that they would have a different reason. And when they didn't have a different reason, they let the Germans bomb Coventry. Thousands of people died to protect the secret of Enigma. So all I'm saying is if the NSA has a quantum computer and they really want to people not know that quantum computer, which can also break all of the encryption keys on all of the nukes in the world, all of the communication keys and all of the nuclear subs and all of the military intelligence networks and all of the commercial networks, I don't think they're going to use it to break Bitcoin, if you know what I mean. Like, that's small fish to them. The real problem becomes when you have broad commercial availability of quantum computing, but not broad enough that all of us can use it in our wallets. And there's that interim period that's a bit awkward. And during that interim period, Bitcoin needs to change its algorithms. But one of the interesting things that happens is that while you can change the algorithms on all of the active wallets, some wallets have lost keys. Or the people who had those keys are dead, and they can't change the signing algorithm, which means that those wallets will get captured by quantum computers. So one of the interesting things that happens is we will know when quantum computing exists when Satoshi's coins move.
Thank you.
That's one of the reasons they'll move. Eventually, they will move, and they'll move because someone will be able to break the keys. But for the rest of the ecosystem, we can migrate quite easily to another algorithm. It's not really as big a threat as people think it is.
All right. I mean, that was pretty huge. That was Andreas probably way back in the day. Andreas is making the point that even if the NSA or China has quantum computer right now, they're not going to use it on Bitcoin. Why? Because the moment that they do, the entire world knows quantum computing is here and everyone upgrades their system immediately. Burning their most powerful weapon on a $2 trillion asset when they could use it to crack nuclear codes, military intelligence, banking system worth hundreds of trillions of dollars. It doesn't make sense to do strategically. Here's what's wild. Satoshi actually predicted this 15 years ago. In 2010, Satoshi wrote, SHA-256 is very strong. It's not like the incremental step from MD5 to SHA-1. It can last several decades unless there's a massive breakthrough attack, which is talking about quantum. And then you laid out the plan, okay? If SHA-256 becomes completely broken, I think we could come to some agreement about what the honest blockchain was before the trouble started. Lock that in and continue from there with a new hash function. If the hash function breakdown came gradually, we could transition to a new hash in an orderly way. That's probably what's going to happen. The software would be programmed to start using new hash after a certain block number. Everyone would have to upgrade by that time. So Satoshi literally gave the playbook 15 years ago. So here's what actually happens, right? When quantum becomes a real threat, banks are going to upgrade first. The banks will upgrade their security systems first because their encryption is the most vulnerable, RSA 2048. It breaks before SHA-256 does. So you'll see the entire financial system upgrading before Bitcoin even needs to. Step 2 is going to be global consensus. I like this tweet from Fred. At some point when the quantum risk becomes real, the Defense Department will mandate quantum-resistant codes. Then the banks will mandate it. Then Apple will mandate it. Then it'll be implemented in Bitcoin. It's not, like Fred here is saying, it's not just like a middle of the night comes on and then Bitcoin's just gone the next day. You won't miss it. It'll be everywhere. Every company's going to be doing it. The U.S. government, every country. Step 3 will be Bitcoin will update to quantum-resistant encryption algorithms. And this already exists. It's not science fiction. It's already being developed. And then step 4, this is the migration period where Bitcoin holders will migrate from their old wallets to these new quantum-resistant wallets. And this isn't going to be overnight, right? It's not going to be 30 days. It's probably going to take 1 to 2 years because Bitcoin is decentralized. So there will be a lot of volatility during this period. This is where I expect it to happen, no doubt. But the consensus to move to quantum-resistant wallets will happen. 5, this is the really interesting part. People who lost their private keys or the people who died, they won't migrate over to the quantum-resistant wallets. So they'll be vulnerable to quantum attacks. Here's another tweet from Michael. Quantum computing won't break Bitcoin. It'll just harden it. The network upgrades. Active coins migrate, lost coins stay frozen, security goes up, supply comes down, Bitcoin goes stronger.
So let's take quantum computer. Okay. There's going to be a point when the world will form a consensus that there's a quantum threat. We're not there now, but you won't miss it because the United States government will direct all of the defense contractors to upgrade their encryption algorithms to be quantum resistant. Mm-hmm. And Microsoft and Apple and Google will ship a quantum upgrade. Mm-hmm. And your bank, let's say you've got your money at JP Morgan, they will ship an upgrade and they will say, there's a need for us to upgrade our encryption algorithms. So please install the new client software and re-authenticate yourself. And you've got X days, 90 days, 30 days, whatever number of days to do this, and if you don't, we're going to freeze your funds for your own good. Okay, it's not that complicated. Every single system on Earth, every iPhone, every Android phone, can you imagine you walk into the office and your boss says, your IT guy goes, we need to upgrade our software to be quantum resistant now. And you're like, well, I just decided I don't want to. Okay, well, that's a condition of employment. How many people are going to say, I just decided I didn't want to upgrade the software? You're not going to have a job. You're going to come back from the border and they're going to say, you need the quantum resistant border software. You're like, well, I just would rather come back to the country without it. You're not getting in, right? And so at the point where we have global consensus, it's like Y2K, it's like anything else. There's not going to be a debate. The Bitcoin network just runs on software. There's going to be a quantum upgrade. It's going to have quantum resistant encryption libraries. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not the same libraries that are in the iPhone and the Android phone and the Microsoft network. It's going to be a global standard and people are going to debate it. we're going to roll out the system, and then everyone is going to upgrade to the software. We're going to re-encrypt all the Bitcoin and all the wallets and anything that is susceptible to quantum threat. It's going to get re-encrypted if the holders of the private keys are alive and if they like money.
Yeah.
If they're dead, they're not going to re-encrypt. And if they've lost the keys, they're not going to re-encrypt. This is going to be a massive upgrade to network security, and it's going to be a massive deflationary event. And we're going to get the answer to the age-old question, how much Bitcoin's been lost?
Right. I mean, Sailor's absolutely right. This will actually be deflationary for Bitcoin. We'll finally know how much Bitcoin has been lost forever. Right now, I think it's expected there's only around 15 million Bitcoin that are actually going to be ever in supply. So 6 million are lost. But we don't know that for sure. So we'll know that for sure. When quantum forces this upgrade, we'll find out if it's 3, 4, 5, 6 million that are lost. And the scarcity will only go up. Circulating supply will effectively drop. This only makes Bitcoin scarcer. Supply goes down, demand stays up or the same. And then you know what happens to the price. Look, I've been in Bitcoin for some years now, and I've heard all this FUD over and over again. I think starting even in 2017, quantum's going to kill Bitcoin. You saw Andreas talking about it. People have been talking about it since the beginning. Here's another tweet from Sam and Sam saying quoting Larry Fink, Bitcoin is heavily influenced by leveraged players. This guy gets it, okay? Once the market shakes out the leveraged players, volatility normalizes, and you won't hear anything about quantum again. And you'll be like, what happened to the quantum threat? Until the next time Bitcoin falls down or it's not moving, and this FUD will come back up again. It's like the same thing over and over again. Okay, look, here's the bottom line. The quantum threat, it's real. Take it seriously, whether it's 2 to 9 years or 20 to 40 years. The solution is the same. Bitcoin needs to upgrade, and it will. But if you're worried about Bitcoin, you need to be 100 times more worried about your bank account. Banks are going to upgrade first. Bitcoin will follow. There will be volatility. There will be fear, but the upgrade will happen. Post-quantum cryptography already exists. The solution is already here. So you don't need to panic and sell. Just understand the timeline and be ready to upgrade. If this cleared things up for you, drop a like, subscribe for more deep dives into Bitcoin. And let me know in the comments, are you worried about quantum or are you confident that Bitcoin will upgrade in time? See you next week. Peace.